Today we will be discussing regarding the BioTime Mobile Application. So myself, Rosemol John from ZKTeco Dubai, working as software engineer. And ZKBioTime Mobile Application, it's a private cloud time attendance system which is introduced as a subsidiary of BioTime Application, the software application. Okay. So today we'll be discussing regarding the architecture and the features and how it will be working, the complete workflow, all these things during this discussion. So if you have any inquiries or any queries, clarifications, you can just ping me on the chat. We will be discussing after this session. Okay. So let's go through the session. We will be discussing the introduction of the mobile application and the features and the system architecture. So let's move to the introduction part. ZKBioTime is a real-time mobile app attendance solution, and which is designed completely for the outside people, like who are always on the go, or for example, the employees who is working for outside construction, training, business meetings, site visit, installation, or a delivery. All these things can be considered for this application, mobile application purpose. So it's purposefully designed for that type of applications. Like if some employees working outside or otherwise in different location, they can use this for attendance, and the attendance will be tracked with the location. So it will be like somewhat accurate, and the reports and everything will be generated on the same centralized system as we introduced the BioTime. No? In the BioTime, all this data will be merged, and you will get the final reports. So the smartphone application, it will help you to calculate the people traveling on, like moving people attendance with the location. This is the workflow diagram. You can see the BioTime 7.0 application. The software will be installed on the centralized server, UAE headquarters, and the devices will be installed in different locations. As you know, it can be connected by Wi-Fi, LAN, or 3G, or VPN. So it will be in different location for the fixed attendance, like whoever is working in the specific location or specific offices, they can mark their attendance on the machine. That will be real time considered to the centralized server database. And you can see the BioTime 7.0, it's accessible by UAE headquarters, KSA branch office, and USA branch office. That means it can be accessible for the HR or administrators or users through the static IP or dynamic address. And this mobile application is a subsidiary, like it's a private cloud system, which is also act as a moving device, which can be used for the traveling people. So they can punch their attendance wherever they are going. So it will be transferred to the same database. So it will be considered as the complete attendance of a company. Okay. And this is the real-time dashboard on the mobile application. You can see the orange icon, which is called clock in. It is used for the punch purpose, like the employees can click there, it will be marked as attendance. And it can be like, it depends on you, like you can punch the check-in, check-out, break-in, break-out. When you click there, it will give a pop-up message, which can choose your work code, function key, and attendance photo. So it will be uploaded to the software. And the recent punches means it's like all the last punches will be displayed there, and you can just see from what time, which location, and what is the last punch. And the Google map, it's indicating like where you are in the present moment. So the main thing, the mobile phone should have internet and its GPS should be on. Otherwise, the punch will be invalid. It will not accept from the system. So the GPS location, you can see from the map, you can verify the location that you are on the present situation, it's correct or not. And the same location will be catched with the clock in punch. And the my statistics means it's like a statistical view of weekly and monthly attendance. You can see some exception data through the dashboard. like late, early, absent, and leave, overtime, all these things. And you can see on the left top, it's a main menu. It's like it's a two-step navigation mobile application. So you can just swipe on the left, it will give you a main menu, and the one which is showing now, it's the dashboard menu. And on the right top, you can see the refresh button, which will be like optional refresh for your mobile application. Okay, so next move to the next slide. So basically, mobile application, the ZKBioTime Mobile App have two type of login: administrator login and employee login. You can see the difference on the window. Administrator login have the large number of icons compared to the employee login, because in BioTime 7.0 you can configure one employee as admin, approver, and employee. So as a employee, they have limited privileges. For example, approvals and all, they doesn't have the privilege. As an administrator, it can be approver, it cannot be approver. So if administrator as a approver means he should have the right to approve the employee request, and he should have the request like a status window, and he should have a report window, all these things. So in the mobile app also, we design in such a way that there should be two login, administrator and employee, and the super admin in the software can design like this employee is considered as employee or administrator. So if it is an administrator, the additional icons are approvals and reports. So this is like if employee requests some leave or manual punch, all these things will come in there, and they can do the approval or rejections, everything from the mobile app itself. Let's move through the features. Okay, so we can just explain one by one, like what all the features available in the ZKBioTime mobile application. The main features are it's two-step navigation, as I mentioned. It's only like it's very easy to operate. It's user friendly, and it can be like in the same navigation menu. You can go to the next one, and that will be the last. All the operation you can handle in two-step navigation, and it's a real-time attendance with the geographic details. That means it can be like all the punches will be marked as with the location. So it will reduce the manual error or manipulation, all these things. And real-time notifications, as you know, all the mobile application they have notifications, like if some new message came or new alerts came, all these things. Similar way, this attendance application also have real-time notification. And the approvals, if you know, in the BioTime 7.0 there is approval hierarchy based on the supervisor or administrators, or you can configure the approvals on the system based on the department. So the same scenario, it's visible on the mobile application also. So once one approver receives some request from the employee, no need to log into the desktop or no need to go through the browsers. They can just log in the mobile application and just a right swipe, which will approve the record and reject the record. So it's very easy for the approval and rejections. And online employee request and status. That means for the employee login, we have provided some request window and status window, which is very useful for the employees to give the request like leave request or schedule request. All the self requests they can provide through the mobile application, which will be sending a notification to the managers. And once they receive the rejection or approvals, employees have the option to see the status, like my status. So he can verify whether my record is approved or rejected, all these things. And next is the schedule, the calendar, schedule calendar. That means if you have some roster shifts or cyclic shifts, you can see the shifts through the mobile app itself. So once one managers suggests one employee to do this work or night shift tomorrow, all these things can be calculated on the and displayed on the timetable calendar on the mobile application. So all the employees will be familiarized with their tomorrow's work or next week work. And if they find something which is not useful for them, they can request the schedule change request, which is very helpful for the managers also. It's like they can, whenever they see the calendar, if they have to finish some prioritized work, they can request the schedule change through the mobile application, which will send you a notification to the managers as a schedule request. Once it's approved, their calendar will be updated. And we have some announcement window, which is like public and private. It's like company social network. You can provide some meeting announcement, you can give some private announcements. It can be pushed through the mobile application. And user friendly interface, as I mentioned, there is two interface, admin and employee, and it's very easy to use and very fast. And this is some explanation of the main features. Real-time attendance with the geographic location. So if once we provide the attendance for the moving employees, we should be considered this as an accurate one. So for that, whenever they punch their GPS in the mobile, it should be turned on and it is linked to the attendance punch. So once they click the click clock in, it will give you a three options, like depends on the admin privileges: attendance photo, work code, and function key. These three optional functions, which can be decided from the admin or approver, whether the employee need to choose this or it's compulsory or it's not compulsory. So if it is not compulsory, they can just click OK. Suddenly, you can see in the next page, it will be after clocking, it will take the location and it will show successful punch. And you can see the GPS location also. And another way, if the super administrator or approver, they assign you to choose these options as a mandatory one, you need to click, you need to take attendance photo, or you need to take a work code or function key, then it will be pushed with attendance. The main advantages of attendance photo is that if they are going for training or delivery, you can have a proof, like whenever they reach on the site, they should take a picture. They can take their picture or they can take some picture with the background of the location, all these things. So whenever they clock in, it will be related to the attendance photo. So it is like a proof, location plus photo plus the clock in. So it is more stronger than the basic punches. And real-time notifications and updates. You can see the notification window here, which is giving all the alerts like leave, overtime, manual punch, training, schedule, announcement, and attendance exceptions. So for the employees as well as administrators, the leave notification means if it is an employee, once it's approved or rejected. If it is administrator, once a new request came, something like this. Same like that, overtime, annual punch, and training, and schedule request. And announcement, if you have some public announcement which is received and not read, means it will be showing there. And attendance exception in the sense, it's for the attendance irregularities or warning, like late, early, leave, or absent. These things also, as a warning alerts, it will be there in the notification. And next is the workflow for the employee request and the approvals. You can see the first picture, which is a request from the employee window, employee login. For example, it will ask if it is a leave request, it will ask the leave type, start time, end time, and the reason. And once they submit, on the second image, you can see it's moved to the admin or approver, which will receive as a request, and they can decide whether it's reject or approve. So they can just swipe it or they can just click on the arrow button, which will give you the reason for the exception, and you can just revoke or reject or approve. And on third picture, you can see the same approved record or rejected record. The employee should know. No? For that, they have a status window which will give you like which employee, which approver accept my leave or which approver reject my leave, all these things. Because in the BioTime 7.0, it allows the options like multi-level approvals, which is having maybe 3 level or 4 level approvals. So maybe in between, the third level is rejected your application means you need to start from the zero. So you should know in which level the request was rejected or revoked or approved. So for that, you can see the status in employee login. You can see the my status, and you just go to the leave status or manual punch status, whatever. So you can see which one is rejected, which one is approved. And this is the calendar before the schedule. You can see on the window there is a calendar which will give you the status of the roster, like timetable. And in the below you can it will be recorded like in or out and what is the time of in, what is the time of out. And the bottom button it says change schedule. As I mentioned before, the change schedule means you can see the status of the timetable on the calendar. And if you want to request some changes on that timing, you can click the change schedule, which will be giving a option. Choose the timetable, then you can just change the schedule. So it will same like approval workflow. Once you request a change, it will go for the approver like approval or rejection. After that, you can see the status and which will be updated on the calendar. And public and private announcement. The public announcement which can be useful for the meetings like weekly meetings or some important sudden announcements, all these things. Private announcement, you can choose a department wise or employee wise and you can push the announcement. And there is a option like reports. This is for the admin login. You can see these options like my reports and staff report. Because as you know, in the BioTime, there is different levels of report displays there. But in the mobile application, there will be a like criticality like the size and the font size and the visibility and the clarity. That's why we are not providing all the reports here, only the basic reports which will be giving check-in, check-out and total work time, break time, all these things. So for the administrators, if they want to see the reports of the staff or his own report, they can just choose the from date and to date, and they can just generate the report and they can just compare. For the employees, actually there is no need of this one. So we provided some transaction options, which is like all the punches, like for example, the transaction in the sense when they come in, when they go out, the in and outs, it will be displayed and total work time will be displayed. So for the employees, instead of reports, there is options like attendance. And for administrators, we have provided the both option, attendance and reports. So in the attendance, you can see my attendance and staff attendance. So in the staff attendance, same way, in and out will be there and the total time. And the profile display. Profile displays like in the BioTime 7.0, we have the option to update your profile details. It's like your name, ID, position, department, your address, all these things. So from this data, the mobile app will fetch the data based on the employee ID and it will display the same things in the mobile application. And you can see what time, what was the work time, what is the remaining time from the present moment, and what is the overtime, and small dashboard will be there to show your personal statistics. It's like a speedometer type. You can see the status of the work time in each day, 7 days. And on the right top, you have your option settings. And this settings window is different for administrator and employees. Because for administrators, we have given one extra option, clock in settings. It means you can, as we see in the first page, like when you clock in, there is a optional functionality, work code, and attendance photo and function keys. These three windows you can enable or disable. The administrators can enable or disable. And the employee, for the employee, there is no such options because it's disabled for them. It's based on the administrator assignment. So once they turn on the function key or attendance photo, then employee should, like, it's a mandatory field for employee. So these things you can change on the settings, profile settings. And the language also, you can choose English or Arabic, and time and date formats. And the version details will be there in the settings. And we have contact menu, which will be giving you, like, as a company directory. It's like in a company, all the employee details will be there, like mobile number, email ID, and the position. So no need to save separate contact details. You can just type the employee ID or employee name. It will give you all the details. And from the same interface, you can call or you can email. It is linked to the mobile phone details. So in the contact, you can see all the company contact details. And we have Arabic interface. And you can see in the first picture, as we mentioned, the two-step navigation difference. On the same picture, when you click a icon, it's opening in the same page itself. And only the second page, you can just request your own request or whatever the additional functionalities you can do. And let's move to the system architecture. This is the system architecture of the BioTime and BioTime mobile application. So you can see in the middle BioTime server, which is situated on the central server, and the database and application server will be there. So you can install the BioTime software on that side, and you can configure the databases. And administrator and employee means it's a logins, like you can access through a static IP or dynamic address. And this same software can allowed, like it's allowed for the ERP integration or payroll integration. And devices can be connected by any of the LAN or Wi-Fi or 3G. The mobile application, similar way, it can be act as a device, movable device, which is connected to the same server. You can use the IP or dynamic address and port number to connect to the centralized server. So all the data from the machines as well as the mobile app, it will be real time. And it will be going to the database, and from database you can do some integration part or whatever. And for the reporting and attendance details part, you can see all the data from the machine and mobile application. And the server configuration. Once you download the mobile application from the Play Store or App Store, first thing you need to do the server configuration, because it's a standalone, like it's like a private cloud which is connected to the BioTime database. So for the connectivity, first thing you can see on the right bottom, you can see the server configuration, which will ask you the IP and port number. And once you put that one, it will be connected and real time to the system. And then you can configure the ID, employee ID or administrator ID and password to log into the system. And the specifications, it supports iOS as well as Android. And the iOS specification is 8.0 or later and compatible with the iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. For the Android, it requires 4.4 and above. The languages, it supports English and Arabic. And you can just get the trial. For example, if you want to try the mobile application, you just log into the App Store or Play Store and just download the ZKBioTime Mobile Application. Then you can configure this server detail, which is the public IP 80.227.52.78, and the port number is 8080. You can log into the system and you can just add an employee ID and you can enable this mobile app options. Then you can just open in the mobile and you can just try all the functionalities. And you can download this download from this QR code, the App Store and Play Store, which is available in the system. You can just I will just show you how to do from the software side. You can see this is the BioTime software. You can go to personal and you can create a new employee or existing employee to allow the mobile app options. So you can see here mobile app settings, enable or disable. So once you enable this ID can be joined as a mobile app login, and you can choose which type of login you want to give. employee or administrators. So this is the option to give the app status. So you can see here, once it's enabled, it will be green color. And in the device, in the mobile app options, you can see how many mobiles connected and what is the functionality, all these things. Announcement. This all like whatever is happening on the machine, the mobile app, it will be just saving the data on the server side. So all the data will be here itself. In the attendance also, in the transaction, you can see from where this data is coming. Location will be there, and you can see data from where. That means mobile app or machine, you can identify. Okay, this is how to log in, how to enable a mobile app option from the software. And let's move to a video which will be helpful for you to understand the workflow. You can just log in. You can see here, once you click on the clock in, it will accept the punch, and you can choose the options. Once it's connected, it's finished means it will take the location automatically. And this is the recent punches you can see from the system and the statistics. And these all are the icon for the administrators. And its profile, which will give you all details from the system. Clock in settings, as we see before. And this is the icons you can see. It's very user friendly. You can request the leave. You can choose the leave type, which is synchronized from the BioTime application. You can choose the date time, start time and end time, and the reason. And you can see the schedule calendar here, and you can do the change schedule. You can choose the schedules. This timetable is synchronized from the BioTime database. And the reason. So once it's requested, it will go for the approval from the manager. And this my status, it's as I mentioned, you can see the status of employee request, leave or manual punch. And notification here, you can see all the data like who was the approver and who was approved and which level was approved, what time. And approval similar way. All these functions is open for leave, manual punch, training, overtime, and schedule. Here you can see the in and outs, and you can choose this week or last day or last month, all these details. Okay, so this is regarding the mobile app workflow. So you can just go through the Play Store or App Store, just download the mobile app, connect to a simple employee ID and allow him as admin or employee, and you can just try all the options. Okay, so it will be very helpful for you to understand what is the details and how to use the system, all these things. Okay, so thank you all of you, and if you have any doubts or any requests from our side, you can just inform on the website, like you can just send email in the support email, and you can just get the details like user guide, installation guide, all these things uploaded in the website. So you can just go through there and you can just try the system.